guys on the set here at 10 Leaders Fitness. I'm Rob, this is Jack and goal. Quick penalty for a short one.
What is up guys, it is Jack, back up in this bitch for 10 Leaders Fitness. Slightly different video today, we're talking about top 5 tips to improve your football game, regardless of what position you play, okay? So which is why I've got my friend Rob here, qualified football coach. How you doing, Rob?
Not bad, mate.
Very happy to have you on board for this video, okay? So anyway, yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first of the 5 tips we're going to talk about today is positioning. So positions you take up on the pitch, regardless of attack or defence. And this for me is really the difference between Sunday League, one of the differences between Sunday League players and the professional players, because positions you take up are going to be able to enable you to react to changes in the play, which is incredibly important for giving your team the upper hand, to get a jump on proceedings before they actually go ahead. And as well as that, the thing that a lot of people don't think about is not just the positioning to get themselves on the ball, but the positioning necessary to spread the play. So say your team's stacking down the middle, maybe taking out a position on the wide wouldn't get you involved maybe the best, but what it's going to do is it's going to force the opposition to come out to mark you, which is going to stretch them, which is going to allow your team a more direct attack down the middle, for example. Anything you want to add to that one?
Yeah, every position really needs to know where they're going to be at what point in the game. Like, if you're a wing back, you need to know if you need to be back, if you're going to be bombing forward on the other wing. If the other wing back will be forward, then you can come across cover as a makeshift centre back sort of thing, or you can go anywhere forwards if you're attacking on that side on the overlap.
Yeah, you take up. Yeah, that's a good point. Take up a position to allow you to best anticipate what's going to. So you can anticipate what's going to happen with the play, and take up a position that's going to allow you to react best, essentially.
Basically, just when you're attacking doesn't mean you have to be aware of all your defensive duties you need to carry out as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Okay, so that's the first point, positioning. The second point we're going to talk about today is just general fitness, right? Something we talk about a lot here on this channel. But yeah, fitness is going to give you, regardless of what you say in your position, it's one of those things that's going to give you an advantage over your opponent if they're not in as good a shape as you. So we're talking about the general physical game, okay? So it's one side of it is how long you can keep running for. There's also speed, strength, and how heavily you weight your training on those is going to depend on your position as well, obviously, but having a good mix in general is always a good thing to have in your arsenal, isn't it?
Definitely, and also in your position what you're going to need. If you're in goal, you may not need quite the physical fitness as a central midfielder, but you will need reactions which would be better. Also in goal, you also do need the physical fitness for if your team's under the cosh all the time, you'll be jumping around everywhere. And you can't afford to be lagging behind in the last few minutes of the game if you're really getting battered.
Yeah, that's correct. And as you're getting into the, it's usually like 60, 70 minute mark, it kind of tends to show like the guys who aren't so with it in their physical fitness, they stand up for a game of football. That's where the guys who have been putting the effort in the gym and the training ground, it really comes into play and starts to show. So they're not as fatigued, and they're a lot more effective at that point in the game, and that can really turn the game on its head if you've got a team with greater fitness once you get past that 60-70 minute mark, as we say.
Remember, it's not just cardio fitness, you also have to have the strength. If you're running back in your fitness, you may not have the strength to push an opponent aside. If you don't have the strength to do it, then they'll win the ball, they'll be through. It's all about all-round fitness and core strength, not just cardio on the treadmill all the time.
That's a good point. You think about the players who have really come to build their careers, that have taken the game to the next level just through their physical attributes. And you've got big strikers like Christian Benteke, who, when you think about it, if he wasn't such a monster, he push anyone on their ass pretty much. If he didn't have that strength, he wouldn't be anywhere near as successful as he is today. And you've got players like Theo Walcott, who pretty much, without his pace, what is he? He's a League 1, League 2 player, effectively. So, yeah, and something I've personally come to experience as well is since I've, been hitting the gym and training, that's improved my game immensely. I can run, jump, it's just so much more effective. I can get to things before people. And like I say, it just gives me that advantage overall. It's such a nice feeling when you have physical advantage on someone, so you're stronger than them or you're faster than them.
Definitely does.
Yeah, important to your overall game regardless of position, which is what we're trying to get out of this list. Okay, next one. My phone stops being a dick. Okay, so third point, not diving into tackles. And what we mean by that is when... Actually, do you want to lead on this one, Rob?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Like, if you're struggling with a 3-on-3 attack, you don't want to just dive in, because that'll leave you 3-on-2 if you don't get that tackle. You have to see what will help. Like, if you stand the opponent up, then it gives time for your team to get back and give you support. You may not tackle them, they may eventually get past you, but it will give time for your team to come back. If you're a winger, then you'll wing back and come back, defend, centre back can come across, any midfielder can come over, anything that helps, and anyone can mark, cut out passes, just basically solidify the team.
That's right, yeah, it's a good point for holding up the play. And we're going to play some clips now to show you this, or maybe we already have, I'm not sure, I can edit. But what you'll see is that in the clips where Rob dives into the tackle, he just goes hell for leather into it. You see that when he does that, okay, maybe he'll win the ball, but in the clips he doesn't. And that's that commonality, you've got quick-footed players. So in those clips you see that I'm gone, right? He's out of the game, he's on the floor, there's nothing he can do. And in the clips where he's standing me up, you think in that time he's got, like you said, the fullbacks and the players have gone forward in the attack, but been able to get back in that time. And at the end of the day, I'm not going anywhere in that situation. I mean, he actually wins the ball off me in the clip, but even if he doesn't, you know, even if he just stands me up, I'm passing that sideways or backwards. Right, I'm not getting it past him when I'm bouncing on the goal.
What you see, some players, they have a reputation for having bad defensive knowledge. Like Pepe, for example. If he's coming at you at speed, how he does, and he dives in, all you have to do is roll to the side. If he's gone past you, you're through.
Out again.
That's why you can't dive in like he does. Yes, he does get away with it quite a lot because of the team he plays in. But when you see him play for other teams like Portugal, he is a liability, really.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think, and it sounds quite obvious. Like, make sure you don't misinterpret this. We're not just saying don't miss tackles. I mean, obviously you can avoid that, but saying when you're holding the player up and just standing him up versus jumping in, because like you say, that'll take you out the game.
Obviously, sometimes you can go in hard if it's a 50-50 or whatever, but if you're really struggling at the back, you don't want to be taking yourself out of the game and letting the opponent have a free shot on goal at any cost.
That's right, yeah. Okay, so the next point we're going to talk about today is about the first touch. Okay, and like we said, it's for any player in any position. And I know a lot of you defensive-minded players are going to be thinking, you know, that's for attackers, right? That's for guys that are going forward. They need to be in control of the ball and dictate the play. We just need to get the ball away and get rid of it. But see, here's where we would disagree with that, because wherever you are on the pitch, you're going to be involved in the play in some respect. And this kind of links into the fifth point in the sneak peek, is possession. And because the deal is, if the ball comes into you and you can control it, you know, regardless of where it comes into you, you're going to see in the clips we play that you're going to have, you know, you can now dictate the play. You have the ball, you know, being into possession. But whereas if it comes in and it's just fizzing off you, just bouncing off you because you can't control it and get it under, get it down, what you'll see is Rob actually comes in for the tackle that time, or I come in for the tackle. Yeah, depending which clip we're going to use. But the point is that you see that it allows you to dictate the play when you can control the ball, and when you lose it, you're on the back foot then, aren't you? And
yeah, definitely.
You also, I mean, I know, you know, as a coach, you've seen this many times, but it's when it fizzes off and you get these 50-50s, that's when chances for injury occur, right?
Or sending offs.
Yeah.
Also, what you need to know is every position, like even goalkeeper nowadays, Manuel Neuer, he is by far the best goalie in the world at the minute. He can easily play outfield because of his touch. He was the best right back in the World Cup because of his touches. But other goalkeepers, they aren't so happy with the ball. Everyone needs a good first touch, from defence to strikers, like Didier Drogba used to. When he got the ball, any part of his body, he will control it, whether it's his chest, his knee, his foot, anywhere. He'll touch it down, whether he runs on himself, or just holds it up for other people. That's what the touch can do for you.
Yeah, and it's just that fundamental, basic, principle of, being able to dictate the play, and it's up to you what you do with it if you can bring it down and get it under control. It's anyone's game, it's anyone's ball if it's just fizzing off you in the open. Okay, so the fifth and final thing we want to talk about today is retaining possession. And do you want to lead on this one, Rob?
Yeah, sure. With this one, we have touched on it a couple of times of having the ball. If you have the ball, your opponent can't score. And even if you're just holding it in the corner, you're wasting the time and helping your team have a breather, if nothing else. But also, if you're playing forwards and you're trying to go for a goal, then keeping the ball, you don't have to always force it and lose the ball, let them have a free, easy goal kick. You keep the ball, try and find the opening, just pick at it. Just anything you can do to give your team an advantage will help. Jack?
Yeah. And obviously when you have the ball, there's obviously that point that if they don't have the ball, they can't score, right? But then also there's the thing that if you do have the ball, you can, as I said before, dictate the play. And this is, along with positioning, like I say, one of the main differences between Sunday League and professional football. Because if you watch the Sunday League game, it's all very panicked, because they're not taking up good positions and they're not keeping possession. Right? They get it and there's no one on, no good passes on because no one's taking up the position. So they end up hoofing it or just smashing it downfield, like hoping to pick someone out. And it's all very, it's the difference between that and watching a professional game on TV, is that the Sunday League is all very panicked and there's not many options on for the calm, controlled pass, which you see a lot of which is in contrast to what you see in the professional game. Obviously, you see they're all spread out like around the pitch to offer each other options for the pass. So, and they're forming all these little triangles, which I know is a very important technique in coaching, that mean that you can work your way around your opponents and essentially retain possession, which we say is important because another thing to remember is, tying into fitness, if you've got the ball can travel a lot faster than you can, right? So if you've got the ball, you're just stroking it around, you're not doing that much running around, really. In comparison to the opponent, who has to be chasing you down to avoid you making progress and advancing downfield, they're going to be a lot more tired out if they're chasing the ball all the time. Whereas if you're in control of the ball, you can take it easy, you can control the game effectively. And if you control the game, you're much more likely to come out on top.
This can also let you control the speed of the game. If you want to slow it down because you've just got to go down and you want to regroup basically and see what you want to do next, you really can slow it down. All the best players in the world, like Pirlo, will do this. He plays at his own pace. So does Berbatov. They don't do what everyone else wants them to and run around needlessly for shits and giggles. Basically, you play your own game, not everyone else's.
Yeah, and those two players you mentioned, Pirlo and Berbatov, they're a great example of a lot of things on the list, because you've got obviously the first touch. Their first touch is very good. They retain possession very well. They take up good positions to make up for the fact that they don't have that physicality. Because Pirlo obviously is getting on. Berbatov is never really. He's lazy. He doesn't want to run around, but
he's smart. Lazy. He runs when he needs to.
He has a bit of strength to him, of course, as well. But he's not the quickest. But because he makes the most of the space around him, his first touch is very good. Obviously, his mental game is very good as well. He's able to manipulate the game and be effective, pretty much. So, like we say, back to retaining possession though, it's all about making those shapes and offering yourself, for the pass, an option for player on the ball, and also just look for the easy pass. Even if you can't go forward at a hectic rate, as Rob mentioned initially, you can still just stroke it around and retain possession. So you're effectively in control of the game, even if you're not going.
The easy passes and basic ones are always the best because they're the ones that are forgotten, but they always work. It's not all about fancy stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so anyway guys, that has been it. That has been the video. This has been our top 5 tips on how to improve your football game regardless of position. Expect more to come though, where we focus on the specifics, especially if the reaction to this video is good. But anyway, thanks for watching guys. I've been Jack, he has been Rob, with 10 Years Fitness. See you all
subscribe
in the next one.